Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's Dustinkreis, and today we are going to do a game discussion, and we're going to talk about the Wii U savior, Mario Kart 8, brought to us, of course, by Nintendo. And this has been one of the most hyped games, probably next to Smash Brothers. Everyone talks about, like, it's so weird how everyone kind of disses Nintendo, but when, like, Mario Kart, especially this one, or, like, Smash Brothers is coming out, it's like, oh, hype, 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 hype. And it's kind of crazy about this game because I am not the biggest Mario Kart fan. In fact, the last Mario Kart game that I played extensively, I mean, I've kind of dabbled in Double Dash, I kind of dabbled in the Wii one, but the last one I played extensively was this one right here. And honestly, that is the best thing I think that was for me, because I kind of felt like I was getting burned out on the Mario Karts, which, I mean, there's only one per system, so I really shouldn't get burned out. But it just feels like there's just Mario Kart everywhere, you know, when, like, the new system comes out and, oh, there's Mario Kart. So to take a few of the games off, it really makes you appreciate this one all the much more. I'm not really big on the bikes because I didn't play the Wii one or Mario Kart 7 very much. So, like, a lot of the new features that have been new in the last couple games are just like brand spanking new to me, and so much fun to explore and sort of figure it out. Like, am I more of a kart person? Am I more of a bike person? Am I more of a car person? And it kind of depends. Like on 50cc, I do the karts and I'm fine. 100cc, I need to do bikes. And I'm assuming when I get to 150cc, I'm going to need Mike's supercar that he just beat us all to hell with on game night. But there's so much in this game to do. It's really exciting. And then when you think, like, this is a game that I'm actually going to buy DLC for. If Nintendo releases DLC tracks for this, I'm definitely going to buy it. Because I don't know about other racers, because really I just use my Mii, and that's fine enough for me. But more tracks, hell yes, I'm going to pick up more tracks. This is a reason to own a Wii U. Finally, it seems like a weird thing when I say that I own a Wii U. You know, somebody asks, do you own a Wii U? And I say yes. Inevitably, the next question is going to be, why? And finally, there's sort of a feather in the cap to say, this is the reason why. And it seems kind of silly to buy a game for one game and to have that game be Mario Kart. But in a lot of ways, like, this is fun to play on its own. It's fun to have somebody sitting next to you on the couch to play with. It's a hell of a lot of fun to play online with friends. It really is just a fun game. And I think that's kind of what Nintendo does best. And in a lot of ways, it really kind of took dating a girl with a kid to prove to me how amazing Nintendo is. Because I feel like when we get older, we get kind of jaded and we kind of forget what fun really is, in a way. Or we let our opinion of fun change so much that to actually sit down and play something that's just built to be fun, we kind of look at it as a lesser thing for some reason. Watching my girlfriend's daughter watch us play this game, because she's 4 years old, she's a little too young to really grasp the controls and everything. Except maybe the tilt control. Kids usually do the motion controls a lot better than having to manage all those buttons. But to watch her watch these tracks and watch us zip around and flip around on the track and everything, it just reminds me, like, of, Nintendo. Not everyone agrees with what they do, but fuck, they do what they do very well. And that sense of awe and wonder that you get from these Nintendo games, a lot of people has really let that childhood sense of wonder die in them, to where they only want something that's gritty and bloody and, every other word in the game is fuck. And, to go back and play something like this and sort of rekindle that childhood love, it's really, really fun for me. It takes me back to a simpler time. And you kind of let the stresses of everyday adult life just slip away, and you just get on the track. And it takes you back to like this, when I was playing this on the N64. It takes me back to that sort of the teenage years, when life was so much easier. You just woke up and went to school, came home and played games, and you didn't have all this adult responsibility. So yeah, Nintendo banks on nostalgia quite a bit, but there's a good part of that. Nostalgia in and of itself is not a bad thing, especially if it takes you back to that feeling of maybe when life was better or something. But on top of all of that nostalgic feelings, this is just a rock solid game. Like, there's just nothing about this game that is wrong. Everything is great. The handling is so much better. I remember playing Rainbow Road on this motherfucker right here, and I would be just zipping off the track almost every turn. Especially when you get into like the 150cc's and shells and crap are just flying everywhere. It's kind of an infuriating experience. But the N64 Rainbow Road track is on this one, and it really shows how much better the handling is in this game. Maybe it was just the N64 controller. Everyone likes to blame that controller for everything. But the game just handles so much better. You can do the turns a lot easier. You could do the sliding power slides a lot easier. If you get knocked off a track, it doesn't set you back as far as it does in the older Mario Karts. It really is extremely well balanced. The lightning bolts, even though I fucking hate the lightning bolts, it doesn't seem like they're, you know, machine gun fired out like they used to be. The blue shells, even though, again, when you're in first place and you see that blue shell come up behind you, you're like, fuck, 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 fuck. It doesn't seem to, I mean, it impedes you, of course, as they always do, but it doesn't seem to, it's not like a first place to 8th place like it used to be. So, things are a lot more balanced out. That being said, when you play against the AI, it's going to feel like every racer is still against you, because that's just the way Mario Kart is. The computer uses every other racer on the track to make sure you don't win. But playing against friends was a really, really awesome experience. We had so much fun on the AGP game night. And even when my girlfriend comes over and we just play, you know, split screen, you know, it's so much fun to just kind of sit there and trash talk. And then, you know, like one person will be, you know, trash talking all the time, and then they'll get hit with something, and then they'll be in 7th place, and then I mean, it's a constant back and forth. Unless you're playing with Aerodynamish, who had the game 3 days before us, and had unlocked like all the super high racers, and here we are, us North Americans, playing it with just normal carts, and we're like, ah, shit, and we never won a race against him. But you know, that's our fault for not staying up till 3 in the morning unlocking everything before the game night. But yeah, everything from a gameplay standpoint on the normal mode, on the normal races, just feels perfect. That being said, Nintendo completely ruined the battle mode. Instead of having arenas that you drive around in and battle in like you used to, they just use tracks, and one team of racers is going one way, another team of racers is going the other way, and that's where you do your battling at, and it fucking sucks. Especially when you start knocking people out and there's only like 2 racers left on the track. It can take forever before you see that person again, because these tracks are massive. And also filled with tons of like shortcuts and hidden things to discover. So, you know, a lot of times when you're playing the battle mode, it's just not very good. And hopefully there'll be a DLC, free DLC, that fixes that and gives us some arenas to do battle mode in, because it is a lot of fun when battle mode is done right. I kind of talked about the exploration in this game there for a second. I kind of want to spend a minute on it, because when you first race through the tracks, you don't really notice it, because everything's zipping by so fast. And then as you get more familiar with the tracks, you start watching some of the other racers and seeing the paths they take. And especially if you play like the time attack mode and watch other people's ghosts, you just find all of these hidden shortcuts, which, you know, of course Mario Kart is known for. But it just seems like there are just so many more in this game, and it really kind of changes how you play the game. It's just, there's a constant discovery in this game, and you wouldn't think about that, it being a Mario Kart game. But, you know, like I said, you know, what Nintendo does, we may not agree with it all the time, but they do it extremely well, and they know what they're doing. Graphically, I'm going to go ahead and say it, I'm a PS4 owner, but graphically, this is the most gorgeous game I have seen yet. Crisp, colorful, just zips by, you know, no hint of slowdown or anything. And that's usually how racers go. Usually racers are what you use to kind of show off the graphics of a system. For some reason, they always look graphically great, and Mario Kart 8 is no exception. It looks phenomenal. Audio-wise, the music is actually pretty impressive. It's not something I'd rush out to buy a soundtrack for, but while you're playing the game, the tracks they just keep you right in the game, you know. And of course, all the voice acting and things like that, you know, hearing Mario's "Let's go!" and I can't do it, my voice doesn't go that high. But, you know, and Bowser just kind of growling and everything, you know, it really takes you back to that Nintendo feeling. One other thing before I wrap this up, that this game really showcased for me, and it goes back again to not really understanding this mechanic of the system until I had a 4-year-old here in the apartment. I woke up one morning around the same time as she did, because she was sleeping out on the air mattress when she stayed, you know, when the girlfriend and her stay over the night, and she wanted to watch cartoons, and I was like, that's perfectly fine. So I turned on the PS3, turn on Netflix, put on some My Little Pony. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, I'd really like to play some Mario Kart to unlock some more cars. So I was like, aha, the gamepad screen. So I turned on the Wii U, played it on my gamepad there while she was watching My Little Pony. And I never understood why that was such a great mechanic until now. And it took Mario Kart 8 and Dating a Girl with a Kid to really showcase that the Wii, they put a lot of thought behind the Wii U. I don't know, there's just something about this game that, while not being a huge Mario Kart fan, I can get on here and say that this is worth buying a system for. And Return to Mother Base Alex, he was at the Nintendo World picking up his copy because he got the Blue Shell edition. And he said that the bundles with the system were just flying off the shelf. And I was talking to my manager, or the manager of my GameStop here in town, and those things are like completely sold out. He can't get any more for his store. So, you know, I think this was a coup for Nintendo, and I think it, in a lot of ways, I think it put them back on the map. And definitely looking at their E3 conference with Smash coming out, with Hyrule Warriors, which, you know, it's kind of an under the radar game, but a lot of people are talking about it, sort of, you know, just amongst themselves. And then the promise of next year of the Wii U Zelda, which looks amazing. And of course, for me, the thing I'm most excited about is Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's a great time to be a Wii U owner, and I'm glad that I'm glad that I didn't let all the negativity that's out there for Nintendo sway my passion for Nintendo. Because I'm a Nintendo kid. I grew up in Nintendo, and I want to see them succeed. And if they have to succeed on their own, I'm sure they're going to find a way to do it. But that's more of an editorial thing on Nintendo and not about Mario Kart 8. I will say this, if you have a Wii U, there's probably a good chance you own this. And if you're thinking about a Wii U and you love this type of game, it's so much fun. There's so many great people out there to play with. And if you're out there in the audience, drop by the AGP fan page on Facebook. The link will be down below, and you can find some great people to play with. Just put a post on there saying, hey, I'm looking for Mario Kart 8 people to play with. I'm sure people start dumping their friend, it's not friend codes anymore. It's the Nintendo Network ID. I'm sure they'll drop their Nintendo Network ID right there, because we have a lot of great people in our community that love to play games like this. So anyway, that is it for Mario Kart 8. A real surprising game, because you know, I'm not a huge Mario Kart fan, and to put this in and just see how much I loved it was a real surprise to me. And there's nothing else to say. I absolutely loved it. So anyway, that is it for this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.